All right, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. Today's webinar is on improve your marketing and sales material. I'm super excited about this topic today. It is worth 0.1 CEU credit. Just some housekeeping. If you have a question during the presentation, type them into the chat box and we'll answer them at the end of the presentation during the Q&A. Now, we also have Taylor on board here. She's part of our team, and even Stephanie. So, you know, if you put something into the chat, Taylor might answer you right then, or if you're also having any technical difficulties, feel free to reach out to her and she can help you. All right, let's get started. So your marketing material is maybe not attracting your ideal client. Your marketing material doesn't communicate all the value you offer. I find this is like a huge problem. Your marketing material is not moving prospects to that next step. The bottom line is you just don't know how to get the most out of your marketing material. That's why you're here, to talk about how it can be improved. If you haven't joined one of our webinars and you don't know us, I'm Deborah Scarpa. Ashley in the picture here is our operations manager. We help interior designers transform their brands to get found online, win their dream clients, and work smarter by streamlining their processes. Our team guides your business to success with branding, websites, marketing, local SEO, and improved processes. When I'm, talking with prospects, we are working with you to come up with, a solution that is best for your company. Not everybody needs the exact same thing. This course is approved by NKBA. So there's the course title. You'll need the course title, the instructor's name, which is me, Deborah Scarpa, delivery method, the amount of CEUs that it qualifies for. Taylor is putting that in the chat. And then also we will be emailing that out to you along with a certificate, because some people have been asking for a certificate so they can report that. Today's agenda. We have a lot of content to go over. I'm super excited about it. Why improve your marketing material? Yeah, why should you bother? Why does it make a difference? How your ideal client is searching online. Tips for how to improve your logo, email signature, website, lead magnets, online calendar, sales material. How can you improve all of that? Again, it's worth 0.1 CEU credits. And then also we do offer, if you haven't gotten one yet, a free brand website and SEO audit. Taylor will put that into chat. Feel free to sign up. I'm obviously very big into education, because I feel like if you don't know what you don't know, right? So I am here to try to educate you and help you along your journey. Why improve your marketing material? This is super important. I want you to really take this information in to generate more leads, attract your ideal client, create a brand that positions you as an authority. Definitely, you can position your online brand as an authority. The way your brand looks and feels online can position you like you're in business, doing this as a hobby, or you're a professional, established, high quality company that's really professional. That's how I want you to be positioned. Get paid more by communicating your value. Definitely like brands online that look more professional, people are going to assume that they charge more. They're going to be willing to pay more. Think about if you go to a store, a clothing store, and you're going to a store, like, just any regular store. Let's say you're going to Target versus you're going to like a custom boutique. Who are you going to assume? You're going to assume that you're paying more at the boutique, right? That's the perceived value we're talking about. Win larger projects. Absolutely. If they trust you, they're going to trust you with their larger projects. Increase your revenue. Definitely. Like if you have a more professional brand, you're going to get more projects, you're going to get larger projects, you're going to increase your revenue. Let's go through how your ideal client is searching online. So I want you to understand the steps so you're not missing out on these leads. So think about step one, how they're finding you. They might be finding you doing a search online. They might find you in Google Maps. They might find you like find you through SEO. They might be finding you through social media. They might even find you from like a friend who gave them a referral. That is step one. So step one is, the traffic, the road. How are they getting there, right? They're going to go check out your website. After they find you, they're going to go check out your website. Your website's job is to 1, generate interest, 2, build trust, 3, convert, get them to take that next step. And then 3 is a lead, a qualified lead. So this is the way your ideal client is searching and finding what they're looking for. So they're looking for an interior designer. They're going through these steps. If any of these steps are broken, then they're not going to find you. For example, if you invest in SEO or social media, but your website is not positioned to attract and convert those, ideal clients, those clients for those larger projects, then what's going to happen is they're going to find your website and they're going to go 1, 2, 3 and close the tab. So think about, you need to get the traffic, you need to have traffic coming to your website, but then you also need the website to do those 3 steps: generate interest, build trust, and convert. Just think about, I'm going to walk you through, like, let's say they're looking online for interior designer near me, or they're searching using a location, so interior designer, and putting in the location, right? Just like you would search for a restaurant. Everybody searches for solutions these days online. So they're searching online. Typically, if they're looking for a local solution and they put in like a town, a city, or near me, the maps are going to show up. They're going to pull up the maps. They're going to look at how many reviews, Google reviews, does everybody have. And then they're going to pick the companies with the top reviews, and they're going to open their websites. So they're going to open the website, just like if you're looking for a restaurant. You're going to open the website and you're going to go 1, 2, 3, I'm interested, or I'm not interested. So that's where like the perceived value of like your online presence comes into play. So for example, if this is one of our clients, this is before we worked with her, this was her website before. So if you came to this website versus this one, this is her new website, you would assume, right, this one looks so much more professional than this one. So if you come to this website, it's the same work. It's the same processes. It's the same services. So if you came to this website, you would assume that she is charging more. You would assume that she has more experience. You would assume that she could handle a larger project, right? You would assume that she charges more. So that is the perceived value of your online presence. So here's another one. Here's the website before, and I'm showing you these examples because I really want you to really visually understand how it is, why it is so important. So here is before, same work. This client has won lots of awards and everything, but like it looks a mess, right? And here is her after, super professional. So that's what we're talking about, perceived value. So there's several steps like I talked about. One is getting found, and two is after they've like found your website and they're on your website, getting them interested, you know, getting them engaged, and that perceived value of how do they feel and think about your company, you know, in 3 to 5 seconds. You don't have very much time. People have, you know, super short attention spans, and we need to capture them really quickly. So I'm going to show you also some logos to explain, so you can also visualize the before and afters and the elements. So a lot of people don't think that their logo matters. It does matter. It is one of the key ingredients to your overall brand. Like when we're working with somebody's logo, the colors, the fonts, the whole look and feel is the same in the logo as it is on the website. So they go together. The design of the logo, the colors, like I have a website that I'll show you that, like if you don't ever use like a bright green and in your work, and then your logo is this bright green and the image looks like it was like clip art and the typefaces are super ugly, right? That doesn't convey the right feeling that you want to get those higher end luxury, like bigger projects. And, you know, again, everybody's different. Everybody has different goals. Everybody has different styles. What is your story? How can your logo tell that story? So it's the design, the colors, the typefaces, the hierarchy of elements, and white space. White space is super important. You know, think about when you're space planning, if you have everything like so cluttered together and so it makes it tense. So all those elements are super important when you're thinking about your logo design. Even your company name and tagline are telling a story. So if your company name and tagline maybe have, you know, maybe they have something about staging and you're not wanting to do that service anymore. It's not telling the right story. Here's a logo before and after. So the one that was before, you know, the fonts are competing against each other. The negative space is really tight. It just doesn't have that high-end feel that the After logo has. And here is another example of, one that looks more outdated. You don't want to look like you're doing it as a hobby. You want to look really professional. You want to look high-end. That's the goal. And you might think, well, I don't want to have maybe super high-end, clients. Maybe that is the case for you. You still don't want to look like you're doing it as a hobby. You want to look professional, because, otherwise people are not valuing your opinion. They're not trusting you with their large projects. So you want to make sure that you're giving them the right impression. It is kind of like giving them the right impression. Like if you go to an interview and you're wearing all like old clothes that, are kind of messy, versus if you go to an interview and you're, dressed up and look professional, that's the same way you should think about your online marketing. So like, here's another logo before and after. It doesn't matter what style, you could be any style. It's just having that professional look. So like here again, like the one in green, the one before, the fonts are out of date. The negative spacing is kind of tense. The mark is kind of fighting with the fonts for attention. It doesn't have that professional feel. So some logo tips. Position your logo to build trust with your ideal client. Create a logo that matches your design style. So even the fonts in your logo can match your design style. I know that sounds funny, but when I'm talking to people and I hear that, maybe they add a little bit of flair or something, or maybe they add to projects, like, I don't know, a little bit, maybe the design should have all sans serif fonts. Maybe it should be a combo with sans serif and script. Maybe it should look more modern. Maybe it should, so it just depends on like your design style. I always like to talk to somebody and look at the photos of their work before designing their logo. It always gives me an idea of, talking to them about who their ideal client is too. So we get a feel for who they are, who are they attracting? What is their ideal client? What is their style? Design a logo that creates a positive emotion. Keep it simple, clean, and professional. You also want it to be usable. Like I was working on, our team was working on a logo recently, and some of the text in the old logo was just not going to be readable when the logo gets like sized smaller. So you want to make sure that it's not just, that it doesn't just look good, but it's also really functional. So the text is readable on all sizes, and also it needs to work like on your website, in social media, print, in different environments, maybe on signs. Your email signature. So just some tips here. Keep it simple, professional, easy to read. This is probably the second one here, is probably the most important one. Don't make your contact information in your signature graphic. And the reason why is because then people can't copy and paste. Keep it in text. You can format the text to look nice, but don't make the information like a graphic. It's hard, it makes it more difficult and frustrating for people. And the last thing you want to do is make your prospects frustrated. So build trust by including a professional photo of yourself. You can do that. Communicate how you want a prospect to communicate with you. So for example, like, do you want them to send you a text message? Think about, I've read like multiple books on sales and marketing about make it easy for your prospects to have a conversation with you. Of course, you need to set your boundaries, but at the same time, you want to make it easy for them. Include a link to book a time on an online calendar. Include a link to your latest projects or blog posts. Include links to your social media pages. Think about how you can make the most of it. And think about prioritizing. What step do you want them to take? And what should your messaging be in that email signature? Let's talk about the elements of your website. So there are multiple elements that are really important. I think one of the most important ones is this first one, brand strategy and positioning. Really understanding who you're trying to target. Who do you want to work with? Who is that ideal client? Understanding them, understanding your services, and who you want to attract, because everything is going to, everything is going to be like the keyword selection is going to depend on who you're trying to target. The design and layout is going to depend on who you're trying to target. Even the colors depend on who you're trying to target. Photos, absolutely, like everybody should have professional photos. It is super important to have professional photos. You don't need to have professional photos of every single project. Just think about getting professional photos of the projects that you're in love with. Graphic elements. We want to make sure that those graphic elements, if you use some on your website, are also professional. I want your overall feeling and the whole design of the website to match the feeling I get when I'm looking at your work. So it should look like it goes together. It shouldn't be competing. It should be using the same colors. The font should be complementing your work. The design, the layout, everything should be complementing your work, not competing for attention. Hierarchy of elements. There's a lot of people that are just going to skim the website, and then there's a lot of people that are going to read all the details. So you need both. Content, copywriting content is super important, but also the hierarchy of elements of how that is laid out, because people aren't going to read. Years ago, we used to do websites where there was just a page of paragraph after paragraph. That is not how people digest content anymore. It's usually in short, kind of smaller blocks. And some people skim and just read headlines. And like I said, some people read all the detail. You do need content and valuable content on your website in order to rank for SEO. So that is one of the most important ranking factors So content is really important, and it also helps build trust with your prospects. There definitely are a lot of people who buy that need to, they want to learn about your processes. They want to learn more about your services before they're willing to purchase. Negative and white space. So, for example, if things are messy and don't look like they're lined up or super crowded, then it's going to give them a negative feeling. Typefaces, like I said, they need to match the style of your work in your photos. Messaging. I can't tell you how many websites I go to and the content I see is like, welcome to so-and-so's company, right? That's not the messaging that you want. You want to have messaging that is communicating to your ideal client how you can help them, how you can solve their problem. Social proof. Social proof is, after the person is interested in your services, social proof is like, do you have reviews? Do you have video testimonials? Do you have you won awards? Have you been published? How can you prove to them? Have you done like a whole bunch of jobs and, because you've been in business for many years. So social proof can really help build trust. Here are some other examples, just so I can show you, like here is the before. It doesn't matter what kind of style, your website needs to communicate who you want to work with. So like here is after, like this designer is like it's in New York City, in that area, and her work is very dramatic and really moody, a lot of it. So we wanted to communicate that right away, and that is communicated in like the photos, the layout, the messaging, the fonts, all of it. Like it wouldn't make sense for her to have a really scripty kind of font because that's not her personality. That's not the style of her work. Here's another client where, this is a good example of, somebody who was had like this bright green and everything. When you look at her work and she doesn't even use those colors. And the fonts and the layout, things aren't lined up, things are crowded. Here is the after. So the perceived value is afterwards. And I really wanted to show you these because, it's so visual. You really have to experience it. Like if you were searching online and you came to this website versus this website, put yourself in your prospects like shoes. If you found this website versus this one, right, you would obviously hire this company and contact this company and probably close the window of this other one, right? You would contact this one. Here's another one. And again, her style is very different. So there was her before and this is after. So everybody is different. It's telling your story. And here's some like website tips for you. I want you to really think about like your website's goal is to compel your ideal client to dig deeper and move to the next step. So that's the goal. I know I've had somebody that I talked to before and they're like, well, my website doesn't really matter because once they see my work, they're going to want to hire me. She was a beautiful designer, but her website was super messy. And the truth is, no, they won't even get to see her work because they'll come to that homepage and they'll count 1, 2, 3 and close that tab. She'll lose that job. So messaging, communicate how you can help them solve their problem. So I always think about content as you would have a conversation with somebody. So if we're thinking about having content like a conversation, I wouldn't start out the conversation saying, hi, I'm Deborah. I've owned my company for so long. I've won so many awards and you can trust me kind of conversation, right? You would be like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to have anything to do with her. Where if we had a conversation and I asked questions to get to know you and your project more and what you're looking for help with, and then I talked about different solutions, and then I discussed that we've done projects like that before, and then I've shared with you some projects that we've worked on and some places that I've been published. Right? That's a much better conversation than if I just had, all about me kind of content. That's what I call it. All about me versus like content that is talking about solving your prospects' problems. Services include a short description of what you offer. Trust includes social proof such as awards and testimonials. Images, use high quality photos and graphics that reflect the quality of work that you deliver. So if you've done this beautiful space and then the photos are like, looking messy and low quality, it's not going to show off the work that you do. It's not going to get you those high-end projects. It's not going to help you get paid more and win those deals. Some more tips. Navigation. Make it easy for your ideal client to find what they're looking for. So when we're thinking about navigation, I know, like, I'm a creative, I'm a, designer. I like to be creative with things. Your navigation is what you do not want to be creative with. That sounds funny, but everybody looks in the same location, which is, the top for the navigation. No matter if they're on a phone, an iPad, a laptop, a desktop, it doesn't matter. They're looking at the same place for navigation. So we don't want to be creative. We want to make it easy for them to find what they're looking for. Lead magnets, offer prospects something of value in exchange for their contact information. Call to actions. When I'm doing audits on people, almost everybody ranks very low on call to actions. Maybe the call to action is just a phone number or a form that they can fill out. That having, like, improving your call to actions can absolutely make a difference in getting more quality, like getting those prospects. If somebody else has a better call to action than you, like let's say they have an online calendar and it's on the weekends and they're looking at people and your website doesn't have an online calendar, they might schedule it with them instead of, going through several hoops to try to contact you, because you're not working on the weekends when they're like trying to set something up. So make it easy for them to work with you, or at least have a conversation. Some people, have told me they don't want to have an online calendar because They never know what their schedule is. Like you have full control of online calendars these days. They can sync up with like Google calendars or calendars, all kinds of calendars. And you don't have to have all your time open. You can block off like certain times during the week or during the day. So people can only schedule during those times. Social proof give examples of how you have helped other clients like them. Your lead magnet. I want you to think about lead magnets for different stages of the buying cycle. So prospects go through like certain stages. And everybody's different. Some people go through really fast. Some people go through really slow. So awareness is maybe they're, searching online for a solution. 2, consideration. Maybe they're considering doing the project. 3, intent. Maybe they're definitely like, yes, I want to move forward. I'm very close to moving forward. And then 4 is the purchase. 5 is maybe a second purchase, or maybe giving a referral or giving a testimonial. So let's back up. If we're looking at awareness, consideration, and intent before they make a purchase, each of those stages, prospects are interested in different types of content. So a different type of lead magnet might work for different stages of the buying cycle. So for example, if somebody's in like stage 1 and 2, awareness or consideration, and your specialty is kitchens, maybe a checklist to how to, start your kitchen project, things you should consider while doing your kitchen project, or, trends in kitchen styles, could be a good lead magnet for those 2 stages, where intent maybe like a project kind of story, a project case study, like that is more like building trust, like, hey, we've done it before, this is what we did, you can read about everything that we did. That could be a good lead magnet for somebody who is ready to make a decision and buy, because you're trying to build more trust, right? Where awareness and consideration are more like maybe a checklist or something like that. Lead magnet tips: engage people who are doing research and not ready to buy. So, and I really want like you guys to think about this. If you don't have an email list and you're not, you don't have a lead magnet, or you're not, staying in front of your email list, you're definitely missing out, because especially for people who are planning on doing large projects, they're probably not just all of a sudden deciding that they're going to do it. I know that, like, for example, my husband and I like to do a large project in the spring every year, because we have activities going on the rest of the year, and spring is a good time when we don't have those things going on, right? So I might be doing some research, during other parts of the year, thinking about, how I want to move forward when the spring comes. So people might be doing research, a year, 9 months, 6 months, 3 months. You know, they might be doing research online. You want, you know, if you talk to them and you aren't following up with them, they might go with somebody else. They might totally forget about you. People have short attention spans. Like, you want to make sure that, you know, you have something like maybe a checklist or something, and, you know, engage with them, and then, you know, stay in front of them. Like, maybe if they're on your email list, you send them some photos of a new project that you just finished, you know, so they could see what you just finished. Offer your prospects a quick win by exchanging further information. Build trust and establish yourself as an expert. Give your prospects something of value, such as a checklist, templates, workshop. There's a lot of different options. Your online calendar. I know I talked a little bit about having an online calendar. I am a huge fan of having online calendars. Out of everything that we do, a lot of like automations and you know, systems and processes and everything. Probably the easiest one to do that saves the most time, like for myself and for a client or a prospect, is like having an online calendar. I can't tell you how, you know, like, I'm so thankful for online calendars. I'm a huge fan. And like, think about it. If somebody schedules an appointment with me, they find, I just want to explain this to you so you can understand like how much automation can be set up. And like, somebody can schedule a meeting with me, and then what happens is when they, you know, select a time and fill out the form, then all that information goes into our CRM, and then their contact information is also sent over to our billing, and then their information is also set up in, like, a task is created in our project management software, and then it's also synced with Zoom. So Zoom, like a Zoom link gets put into my calendar, a Zoom link gets put into like a thank you for, like, an email thanking them for scheduling the appointment, and it puts the Zoom link in, and then they get automated like reminders, appointment reminders with the Zoom link and everything, that are both email and text. Like, there's so many crazy things that are happening, and I haven't had to do any of them manually, right? Except for if somebody responds to me saying, oh yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting with you, then I get a notification and I send them back a response. Yes, I'm looking forward to it, right? So I do follow up like on a personal level, but like, it is all automated. So make it easy for someone to have a conversation with you, save time going back and forth. Like, you don't, before I had an online calendar, I'd have to go back and forth, like, when are you free? When are you free? You know, and it's easy to like lose somebody or lose a couple of days. You can also have different types of calendars. Like, I have several different types of calendars, like a half an hour calendar, a 15-minute calendar. If I'm working on a logo with them, I have a 2-hour calendar. Like, I have different types of calendars. Or if I'm, you know, presenting like a proposal, then I have another calendar. So it sounds like a lot, but it actually makes it super easy for me. Place the online calendar on your website and in all your marketing material. So in your emails, same time with automated appointment reminders. Automated appointment reminders can definitely make sure that you like it reminds your prospect. Most of the time, like I get a response, yes, I'll see you. And then I know that, okay, they got it. And there's a good chance they're going to show up, right? Where people are super busy. If they don't get a reminder, they might just totally forget, block out specific times in your week for appointments, create multiple types of calendars. I just talked about that for different types of meetings. Sync your calendar software with Zoom, set up recurring meetings. One of the things that I know that we do, and that's really helped our processes a lot, if we're working with a client, then we have reoccurring meetings with them. And they're just like a time on the calendar that is scheduled out. So they know, like, maybe they're weekly. It depends on the project we're working on, but like, it's not to waste the person's time, but it's to have like a scheduled time where you can ask them questions. That way you're not like interrupting their day all the time with like different questions, or multiple days are not going by where you're getting behind on the project. Think about having reoccurring meetings with your prospects to keep your projects on schedule if you're not already doing that. Sales material, sales slide deck, content tips. So think about having like a presentation, like a slide deck that you can walk through, that is branded and looks super professional, just like your website and all your other marketing material. So think about the content in it. And again, the content is, kind of the same as what I talked about on your website, or your content, whether you're talking with somebody in person, whether it's a slide deck, whether it is your website, it should always start with like problem. Start by identifying the problem they're having. Services, discuss the benefits of your solution. Build trust, show them proof that you've done it before. Action, let them know what action you want them to take next. Design, create a design that reflects your work. So what is your work style? If it's like really clean and beautiful, and like, we want the design to reflect that. Images, use high quality photos and graphics that reflect the quality of work that you deliver, right? A lot of this is repeating because it's so important. Proposal tips, create a proposal design and layout that reflects your work. Save time generating proposals quickly with proposal software. I am a huge fan of using like software. If you're doing too much every day, which most of you are, if you're trying to work smarter versus like harder and longer hours, then like, think about using software. There is a cost, there is a setup, but in the long run, using software is so much less of an investment than it is to like hire somebody to do it manually, or be trying to do it yourself, which is a cost, because then you're not out there doing other things that you could be, you're not staying in your superpower. Where if you're staying in your superpower, that's where you're going to be the most successful and make the most revenue. Personalize your proposals with custom fields, such as like a lot of them you can do like a tag for like company name, and then you just add the company name, you apply the company name to the proposal, and it automatically fills out, everywhere where it has like company name. Get notified when a prospect views your proposal. So there's lots of software that when somebody views it, you'll get a notification. Get projects started faster with online signatures and payments. So think about everything that you do and how could you take out a step? How could you make it simpler? Offer prospects a low, middle, and high solution. You offer them like several solutions. You know, make sure that you're giving them options. People like options. If you give them just one solution that's a high solution, you might lose a project that could still be a good customer. Thank you so much for listening. I know we went over a ton of content. Here we have a free brand website and SEO audit. I know I talked to you about it earlier. I do offer a lot of value when I do these. So Taylor will put a link in chat. So please sign up if you haven't received one already. And then if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. You know, I went over a lot of content, so hopefully you guys stayed with me, but I just really wanted you guys to really understand, you know, how prospects are perceiving your company online. Think about, like, go online and look, do a search in your area, pull up, you know, the Google Maps and look at your competition. Do they have a lot of reviews? What do their websites look like? If I was a prospect, would I go with them, or would I go, you know, with you? I don't know. You know, or do you not have a Google business profile and you're not even showing up in the maps? That's a problem. Or maybe you don't have any reviews. That's a problem too. What's an example? Oh, of a quick win in exchange for information. So a good example would be, like, let's say a survey, like let's say you specialize in kitchens. It could be, you know, a survey, it could be a checklist. Think about your process. Like if you're good at kitchens, and I'm sure you have a process, a checklist that you go through, simplify it, make it super simple and just the main points, and make a, you know, a lead magnet that somebody could download, you know, that they could exchange their email address for it. I do like to connect the lead magnet, whatever the lead magnet is about, I like to connect that with what you're trying to sell. So if it's kitchens, then maybe a checklist about kitchens. If it's like, you know, remodels, then maybe it should be a checklist about remodels. You are so welcome. Thank you so much, everybody, for attending. Thank you, Darcy and Rachel and everybody else. I've appreciated you having you here. And again, if you haven't signed up for that free brand website and SEO audit, click the link, sign up. I do spend maybe a half an hour reviewing your brand online and putting together an audit. My number one job is to educate you guys and help you get your business to that next level. So thank you so much and have a great day. All right. And sign up for our next webinars. We're always here to try to help. Thank you so much. Bye.